It's GameCube Index, and this week we are shaken, not stirred. James Bond 007 in Agent Under Fire entered the market as the first FPS available on the GameCube. Based on the James Bond franchise, it was the fourth Bond game to not be based on an existing book or movie. It follows Secret Agent James Bond as he heads to Hong Kong, Romania, Switzerland, an oil rig in the South China Sea, and an aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean, saving the world one radical action-packed moment at a time. Originally designed to be a successor to the 1997 Nintendo 64 title GoldenEye, Agent Under Fire was to be a PS2 and PC port of The World Is Not Enough. It was to be developed by EA Redwood Shores, who eventually turned into Visceral Games, and somewhere along the line, development turned the title into a completely new entry in the series. Single player is broken up into three main gameplay types: first-person shooter, vehicular combat, and on-rail shooting combat. The most common type is, of course, FPS, which translated pretty well to the GameCube. The genre that I am the worst at in video games is definitely FPS, and I held my own in this game. Unlike in GoldenEye, there is no emphasis on stealth this time, meaning you can pretty much just muscle your way through a level, provided that you equip a gun with a fast enough shooting speed. Vehicular combat is similar to what we saw in Spy Hunter, but a bit more fine-tuned. It doesn't feel like you're driving on ice sheets. Combined right into that, the on-rail shooting combat is a lot of fun and helps add an arcade feel to parts of the game. In addition to a variety of guns, there's also all of the wonderful Bond gadgets conveniently disguised inside of a cell phone. These gadgets come from Q, and as such are called the Q Laser, Q Remote, Q Jetpack, Q Specs, and the Q Claw. These all help solve puzzles throughout the game, helping to break up the shooting with some different elements. Multiplayer, while incredibly polished, definitely doesn't compare to GoldenEye, but then again, what really does? Something that gives the GameCube version of Agent Under Fire an edge is the option for CPU bots in multiplayer, so if you'd like to pretend, like me, that you have friends to play with, you can. Graphically, Agent Under Fire looks fantastic, specifically the facial animations. Granted, they don't hold up incredibly well these days, but for the time in the first year of the GameCube, they were very impressive. Agent Under Fire would receive a sequel 6 months later in Nightfire, and the James Bond series would return again in 2004 with Everything or Nothing and GoldenEye Rogue Agent, and then James Bond 007 From Russia with Love would come out in 2005. In the end, Agent Under Fire was a great entry in the series and a solid first step for FPS games on the GameCube. That is it for this week's episode of GameCube Index. If you enjoy the videos every week, consider backing us on Patreon. Even $1 a month will do a lot to support the project and help improve the experience. It's entirely up to you. Either way, please continue to show your support by subscribing, sharing, following along on Twitter at GCNdex and at GCNdex.com. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time when we make another trip east to visit Kyojin no Doshin, that is, Doshin the Giant.